The sound of my apartment door clicking open should have meant another ordinary afternoon, but what I saw froze me where I stood. Sunlight poured through the living room window, painting everything in warm gold, yet the scene before me made my heart race. My roommate was asleep on the couch, wrapped inside my oversized gray hoodie as if it were the safest place in the world. She wasn't pretending or joking. She held the sleeves close to her face, and when she slowly opened her eyes, she whispered something so unexpected that I couldn't move. She looked at me with tired eyes and quietly admitted that she wore it because it smelled like me, and somehow that scent made her feel less alone. In that single moment, I realized there were stories hidden inside the people we see every day, stories they never find the courage to tell. Before we continue, if you believe kindness deserves a second chance and that even the smallest act of compassion can change someone's life, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Kindness Project. Your support helps us keep sharing stories that remind the world hope still exists. My name is Rowan, and until that afternoon, I believed life was simple. I worked long shifts at a neighborhood bookstore, paid my half of the rent on time, and tried not to get too involved in other people's problems. My roommate, Maris, had moved in 6 months earlier after answering an online advertisement. She was polite, quiet, and respectful, but she carried an invisible sadness that never completely left her face. She always smiled to be kind, yet her eyes told a different story. Every morning she left early with a worn backpack, and every evening she returned exhausted, pretending everything was fine. We shared meals occasionally, laughed over burned pancakes once or twice, but there was always a wall between us that neither of us seemed ready to cross. That particular afternoon was unusual because my shift ended early. The city streets were bright with sunshine, children rode bicycles along the sidewalks, and neighbors watered flowers outside their homes. It felt like one of those peaceful days when nothing bad could possibly happen. I stopped by a bakery and bought 2 cinnamon rolls, thinking it might be nice to surprise Maris for once. Kindness didn't have to be grand. Sometimes it came wrapped in warm paper and smelled like fresh bread. When I entered the apartment, everything was silent except for the soft hum of the ceiling fan. The hoodie she wore had disappeared from my closet a week earlier, but I had assumed I misplaced it. Looking at her now, curled up on the couch as though she had finally found safety, I noticed dark circles under her eyes and tiny tear stains on the sleeves. She looked more fragile than I had ever seen her. Instead of feeling angry, I felt confused. I gently placed the bakery bag on the table, and she slowly woke up. Embarrassment spread across her face when she realized I had seen her. She apologized over and over, explaining that she never meant to take anything without asking. She admitted she had been struggling with terrible anxiety after losing someone very important in her life months before moving in. The familiar scent of laundry detergent mixed with coffee from my hoodie reminded her of peaceful mornings before everything fell apart. Wearing it helped calm the panic that often visited without warning. Her words settled heavily inside me. I suddenly understood why she sometimes stayed awake until sunrise or sat quietly staring out the window for hours. She wasn't distant because she disliked people. She was carrying grief that had never found a place to rest. Over the following weeks, something began to change between us. We started sharing breakfast before work instead of eating alone. We walked to the nearby park on sunny afternoons, talking about childhood dreams, favorite books, and the people who had shaped our lives. She confessed that she had almost moved out several times because she believed she was a burden to everyone around her. I admitted that I had spent years hiding behind work because I was afraid of letting people become important to me. Without realizing it, 2 lonely strangers had slowly become the family neither of us expected. One Saturday afternoon, I returned home carrying a small shopping bag. Inside was a brand new hoodie almost identical to the old gray one she loved. I folded it neatly and left a handwritten note beside it that simply read, "You never have to borrow comfort again. You deserve to have your own." When she found it, tears rolled silently down her cheeks. She didn't cry because of the hoodie itself. She cried because someone had finally noticed the pain she had tried so hard to hide. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the Kindness Project, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that compassion can heal wounds we cannot see. Before the story ends, tell us in the comments, what is one small act of kindness that changed your life forever? Months later, our apartment felt completely different. The silence had been replaced by laughter, shared dinners, and quiet conversations that lasted long after sunset. I learned that kindness is rarely about solving someone's problems. More often, it is simply about making sure they never have to face those problems alone. That ordinary gray hoodie eventually became faded and worn, but it remained hanging beside the new one in our hallway because it represented the day two strangers stopped pretending they were fine. Sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another person isn't money, advice, or perfect words. Sometimes it's simply giving them a place where they finally feel safe enough to breathe, to heal, and to believe that tomorrow can be brighter than yesterday.